Hold on. Can I make a clip out of that real fast? Hold
on. Sure.
Here, listen to this. Wait, I gotta kill this. I just have shit. I have an ear for this, you know.
Yeah.
I'll hear a thing and go, oh, yeah, that's a keeper. And then I think this is one of those. So let's blow that up. And then we save it out. Ibit. And then we...
Listen to that. We're actually hearing the sausage.
Oh, yeah, the sausage getting made. Here it is. Listen.
Okay. Wow, that's funny. You amplified the hell out of it, too. I didn't think... I said it pretty dang quiet, but you did great.
I beefed it up.
Okay.
I love it. All right. Here goes then. For real this time.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1.
The psychiatrist decided that this was the situation for me.
Did he tell you why?
No, the psychiatrist did not. I want to find a hospital where the living conditions are not as good as this.
So if the question is, what's the capital of Canada? For the record, it's a place called Ottawa.
Her name is the Morning Stream, and she dances on the sand.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to TMS. That's short for the Morning Stream. It's Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. It's happy 2006th episode day. Happy Incredibles 1 day, everyone.
I love these movies you pick out. The Core, Incredibles 1. These are great. These are the moments
movies,
in time.
These are the movies I remember of the years they came out. And for whatever 04 was, for whatever reason, 04 was very marked by the release of Pixar's The Incredibles. For some reason, for me, that's like the movie I think of when I think of 2004. So happy Incredibles 1 day, everyone. What were their names?
Mrs. Stretchy, and he's strong and the kid is invisible.
There you go, and the boy is fast. And the little one, you don't know yet. You don't know.
That's right, exactly. What else? The Village came out that year. Primer, one of the best movies about time travel.
Oh, that's right. You think highly of Primer. I like Primer as well.
I think very highly of Primer. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's they have and the reasons are they don't muck around with the time paradox stuff. They get straight to the business, right? Like
they do. Yes, exactly. And they're aware of the potential for paradoxes, but their method of travel doesn't warrant paradox creation.
Yeah. And also the year.
I have to apparently refresh my memory on that movie because I remember feeling at the time like, all right, I think they've nailed it. But now that I think about it, I was like, how did they do that?
Yeah. So that's also a big year because that was the year, I believe. Let me make sure I'm correct about this. Yeah, this is the year we got both Half-Life 2 and I believe Steam launched that year. Nope, I take it back. That was late 2003 it launched, the initial release.
Gotcha.
But it was a big deal.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
Friday Night Lights,
yeah.
the movie, and a little old podcast called Coverville started up.
Oh, yeah. Brian.
Yeah.
That should have been, I forget about the freaking
I forgot about it until I was looking at some of these. I'm like, oh, yeah, what was that? Oh, yeah, 2004. You just started Coverville right around that time.
That's right. A fledgling music podcast was
That's
available.
Right.
On your podcast banana player or whatever the hell it was called.
Which won the Hall of Fame Podcasting Award a few years ago before the Podcast Academy decided to reboot itself and say, hey, we're brand new. We're the Podcast Academy.
Yeah. So does that not exist anymore? Is this like, here, I'll hold this.
It's a collector's item, Scott.
This trophy I have here, Brian has one
does not exist because the Podcast Academy, well, I guess technically that's the Academy of Podcasters.
Okay.
But that's a collector's item. Actually, it's a fraudulent piece of resin.
Well, let me ask you this: does this Does this mean that we could win again technically?
We totally could. But this isn't, keep in mind, this isn't Todd Cochran's deal. This is the other group.
Yeah. This is more the one we all saw as more legit.
Yeah. And then they decide to start over, and they announced, like, basically an hour ago or 2 hours ago, they made the announcement, hey, we're having the first ever podcast of Academy Awards in January in Los Angeles.
Yeah. I don't know what that... See, this is what... It's fine. It's fine. It's an honor.
It is fine. It does not take any accolades away from us, and the things we've received, the accolades, the awards, the things we've received are still legitimate, and maybe even more so because we've outlasted the very entities that gave us those awards.
And this is still an incredible weapon if needed.
It is a weapon. If zombies come, that is the thing to use right there. The pointy tip of that thing is like, deadly.
Y'all are looking at this and thinking, what? It just looks like a plastic thing. It's not. This is like solid glass.
Yeah.
This pointy star end is, that hurts to poke, to touch.
Yeah. It's like
and so that would go right in your temple.
It's an award and an OSHA violation all in one.
Yep. And that would go straight into a man's temple. The rest of it is super chunky, so you could just like clobber somebody right in the cranium.
That's right.
So that's what I'm using it for.
All right. So if I have not made you want to fart blood yet,
go ahead.
Let me tell you.
Todd Cochran.
The awards that are going to be taking place in January, Scott, they were going to be called the Golden Mics, but now they've been renamed to the Ambies.
No. For real? Is that really the name?
For real, the Ambies. Yes, because ambient noise is a hallmark to creative podcast production, I think is the way that they phrased it.
I don't like it.
No.
I really don't like that.
No, I know. Ambies, it feels like it has nothing to do with podcasts, really, the name.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. That's terrible. I'm just going to register my complaint now. And is Cochran doing a thing? Is he up to anything?
No, he's not part of this. The only thing that makes me feel better about this is the fact that that Rob Greenlee is involved with it, and that brings a big air of legitimacy to it, because I really like Rob Greenlee, and I think he actually does he does have the clout and the involvement to make sure that this thing is legit and not just kind of like another new, hey, the other thing wasn't good, let's create a new thing and pretend that last thing didn't exist.
I agree with you. He does. There's some gravitas to his presence.
There is, yes.
I will say this. Todd Cochran's business came and went. It happened.
Podcastawards.com, not oh really?
Yeah, no, there were awards, 2020 winners.
Oh really?
It's
kind of like if a tree falls in a forest kind of thing.
Yep. Right? And they still have the Coverville Pod Safe music category. It's still in
really?
Here.
So I feel really bad that like my podcast names the category, and I had no idea that these things still happen this year.
K-pop debauch with Aaron Nam won the category. So
sure, K-pop debauch with Eric Nam.
You know the one.
Well-deserved honor.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
I'm looking at the list here. Wow, Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. I love that guy. Whose name I'm desperately trying to remember now, but he does a lot of we've played his music on the show before. He did a whole album of Firefly songs about cats.
Oh wait, Firefly songs.
Songs about Firefly, the TV show.
Oh. But then it had cats in it?
Mark Gunn. Thank you, Sidian. Jeez, I can't believe I forgot Mark Gunn's name. Let me make sure I'm not thinking. Let me make sure I'm not crossing two streams, because he did an album about Firefly.
Okay.
And maybe he did a separate album about cats, but I think he did one.
I love that there would be a crossover.
Yes.
That there's cats and Firefly together. That's amazing.
I think it may have been Irish drinking songs about Firefly, and then a separate album about cats and their aloofness.
That sounds great. Is he an Irish dude with like full accent and everything, or no?
No.
Oh,
no.
Damn. That's too bad.
But when I was on a Dragon Con panel with him, he brought his auto harp and strummed it during the panel. It was great.
That's fantastic.
Okay, yeah. So Irish drinking songs for cat lovers and Firefly drinking songs. I was conflating the two and combining them and making a great amalgamation that doesn't exist. But
Irish Voltron is what you made.
I made Irish Voltron. Yes. Yep. Anyway,
hey,
so
both my legs are made of tigers. That's what I am, as Irish Voltron.
His Irish drinking songs about cats is great, and his Firefly drinking songs is also great. So check out stuff from Mark Gunn. And he deserved the win because he's the only one on this list that I've heard of.
I was just gonna say, I've looked at every one of these. I don't recognize any of this.
Yeah.
None of this, and that's okay. I get it. Give stuff a chance that it's never been nominated. Do that. I'm actually all for that. I just haven't heard. I kind of wish
we might need to go and record some of the Todd Cochran nomination announcements, because I want to hear him say, in the LGBTQ category, we have Friday, the 13th horror podcast.
Friday? Is that real?
Friday, the 13th horror podcast.
Shut up. That's not. It is real.
It is real.
Oh my gosh, it's real. All right. Well, wait. There's some video here. Let me see if we can get just a taste. I'll skip ahead.
Welcome to the 15th annual People's Choice Podcast Awards ceremony. My name is Todd Cochran. I am the founder of the People's Choice Podcast Awards. I'm a longtime podcaster, fast approaching 16 years in the podcasting space, been involved in a large number.
Is it getting higher pitched, or is it me? It's me.
Feels like maybe he's just sped up his audio.
Yeah, something weird going on there. All right, well, he goes on and does his thing, and well done, Todd.
Excellent.
Bad gay movies. All right.
Oh, I think we might have to watch. We might have to just watch that with record some.
You know what? Better than that. Hey, Jamie, or anyone like Jamie, you guys want to just go capture out some of the funnier moments? You go ahead. You let me know.
Jamie, or anyone like Jamie.
We have a Jamie-like person in there.
Tell you what, yes, if somebody does that, reach out to me. Let me know you're doing it, and that way we don't have like a bunch of people all doing it. But if you end up doing it, let me know, and you will get some tea from Phoenix Pearl Tea. And I have, in cleaning up the basement, I have found a box of Kid Robot toys that I haven't even opened up yet. So I'm going to send them a couple Kid Robot toys.
Kid Robot, help me. What is that?
Kid Robot. They created a whole bunch. They created the before Funko Pops. These were the toys. They round heads, but they were like weird Japanese looking things. And the ones I have are like little Fallout plague doctors and things like that. They're really cool.
I
really
remember those stuff. Now. Okay. Yeah, those are cool. Also, you know what? Throw into that, shipped from me. Let's see. I do have some left. A Mad Max mystery box. So it's one of those toy boxes you open up and you see if you get.
It could have Imperator Melba in there, or it could have Frank One Leg.
Melba. Yeah. She was great. Crunchy, get her on the
really,
plane.
Kind of small, but boy, was he dense.
Yeah, well, dense as you can get. So yeah, we'll throw that in there if somebody out there does that for us. And we're just looking for him pronouncing all these awkward or these names that are in those categories that are just sort of hard to hear.
Just give us like a 3 or 4 or 5 minute best of.
Yeah.
And we will set you up with something.
All right, now, as I suppress a sneeze. Oh, hold on. If I only had a button for that. I got a thing to tell you about.
It's only a cough button, not a sneeze button.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't have a sneeze button. I have a cough button.
Sneeze.
It's only used for that. McDonald's. In my news, I have some news about McDonald's.
Sure.
I told you, I hinted at it the other day, but we were driving through there for I don't remember what.
Yeah.
Some reason, and we're going through there, and Kim, whenever Kim's in the drive up, she, no matter where we are, she will always wear a mask as a act of sort of courtesy to the people at the window.
Absolutely.
And so she had hers on, and she pulled up there, and we're just getting something small, like she got some nuggets, and we had to just get by because we were like starving, and I don't know, we just were out and we had to grab something. So we go up through the thing there, and we get up to the front of the deal, and it's one of these kids. It's just the most stereotypic McDonald's worker you can think of. Hair in his face, kind of emo looking, 16, 17.
Okay. Because I visualize the Simpsons kid is what I visualize.
Oh, it's a
Can
little,
I take your order?
it's a little. Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed
But like
to
the
do
emo,
that.
basically the emo version of that is what you're saying.
Kind of like that. Just looks like you'd rather be anywhere but here. Kind of face
Sure.
on and stuff like that. And even
like
at the
every McDonald's employee.
That's true. And even at the window, he was like, we're like, boy, he's got some low energy here. So we order our food, and he's like, all right, pull up to the mirror. So we go up to the thing, and it really isn't very much because, again, we're just getting, something to get us by. It's just some quick calories. And Kim goes at the thing, she goes, oh, you know what? I think I have cash. Forgetting that they do, it's all contactless payment now, right? So you're supposed to give him a card. You're not supposed to give him cash.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay,
yeah,
didn't know that.
They even had a little sign there, but we didn't see the sign. And so when we pulled up, Kim goes, "Oh, I think I have cash for that," because she loves when she has exact change for something.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, for
Loves
sure.
it. Oh my
Who
gosh,
doesn't? Yeah.
she has a special. She divorced me in favor of marrying exact change. I mean it. It's like she's so into it. So she goes up there, and then she went, "Oh, I didn't see your sign," and he goes. And she goes, "No, I didn't see your sign there. It says no cash. You guys want contactless payment. That's not a problem." He goes, "You want me to max it out?" And she goes, "I'm sorry?" He goes, "You want me to just like round it up?" She goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." So to this moment, we don't know what he meant. She ended up giving him the card instead of the cash. And it was the exact amount that that the board said that we owed, and everything was fine. But we still
didn't max it out.
We don't know what he meant.
That's really bizarre. I mean, I know that sometimes they do the charity stuff where they'll round up to the next dollar and the change goes towards maybe Ronald McDonald House or something like that. But I don't know if they do it. I know Ace Hardware has been doing that for a while. They always ask me can we round it up for charity? I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Luke says, I don't think he knew what he meant. I'm not sure he did either.
But if you're doing a card, there's no change anyway. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, you want me to round it up so I don't have to give you back any coins?
Yeah, isn't that weird? It's almost like we gave him cash. It's as if we gave him the 20 and he was like saying, well, I'll keep the 5 for like Ronald McDonald House. Like you're saying, I agree that that's possible.
Possible.
I don't know.
Did you give him the card or did he hold the reader out and you put your card in and then pulled your card out?
It was one of those. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the contactless.
But he just kept asking
I've been totally digging using the Apple Watch for paying for stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
tap. God, I love that.
Yeah, give it the old tap,
Give it the old tap because, it happens so infrequently for some of these places that they're like, what? That worked? Whoa. Nobody does that here.
And it's super easy. And
it is super easy.
I just forget to do it. I just space it. I just don't think about it. But anyway, it was weird, and I still don't know what he meant. And the food was fine. I had just a single chicken sandwich thing, and it was fine. Not too spicy. A little too much mayo. Had to wipe some of that out of there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Wipe it like a baby's bum. Just get in there with a napkin and. Yep. So that was all fine. Real quick, shout out to Christine Power in the Tadpool. She's a listener, and I don't know if she ever shows up in the chat and has a name or anything. But she got married, and I wanted to say happy marriage to her and her brand new husband, who looks like a cool guy. I saw this on Facebook in the Tadpool group, and I just thought, you know what? For once, Facebook did a thing I liked.
This is what Facebook is really for, is for letting us know when people have cute babies or get married.
Yeah.
So
unless you're my in-laws who think it's a brand new way to basically do email chain mail again. So
totally, yes.
Well done, old people. Anyway, grats to her, and also grats to Courtney Adolette, who is often in our chat room. I think she might even be here today.
She's there right now, as a matter of fact.
Her baby is 4 months old. And so I wanted to say happy 4 months to little baby Olivia, which is the cutest name.
She is adorable, too. Yes.
I love the name. The baby's so cute. Well done.
She looks like a little sprout in that green outfit.
Yeah,
little sprout.
It's adorable. Don't bury her. You're going to get many of her.
Yes, don't do that.
No, it sounds wrong, no matter how I say it.
Well, so Scott, we have jury coming up later today, right? So I feel like I can throw a little politics into the morning here. I'm not gonna.
All right.
I'm not going to extol the virtues of one candidate over another. But I'm going to say that that we have now put a Biden-Harris sign in our front yard, which is the first time we've ever done any sort of political sign in our yard, anything like that. I know, it's amazing, right? It's
I don't even know what to say. No, that's great. Okay, let me ask you this, because I've never once in my entire life put anybody's sign anywhere near my yard.
Neither have we, but
how does one do that? Do you just make the decision to go get one? Did someone come by and say, hey, do you want to put the sign in your yard? Like, how does it work?
we made a donation to their campaign, and it was when they were offering a sign for their campaign, like offering a sign to donate to their campaign. And so it was like, oh, okay, cool. That was like 4 weeks ago. And we thought, well, I probably did something wrong and didn't get didn't dot the right I or cross the right T. So didn't think the sign was going to come, and it arrived yesterday. So immediately put it up. But after reading Nextdoor, which is toxic. Why nobody should read Nextdoor. It's the most horrible thing ever.
I tell you, ours is all right. I don't know why. We have it's nothing but I think I found your cat. Give me a call. And by the way, I've got cookies, and it's weird.
That's about 25% of ours. And lately it's been, we were in this place and nobody was wearing a mask. Well, you should go somewhere else then. No, but you suck. No, you suck bigger because you don't wear a mask. Brr, 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 brr.
Yeah.
apparently the car joined in and went beer, 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 beer. offered its 2 cents as well. But lately it's been all, oh, kids stole the political sign out of my yard and they hate Trump or they hate Biden. So teenagers came and took it, and I picked them up on my Ring cam. Do these people look familiar? So we decided to take our Biden-Harris sign, and we coated the edge about an inch from the edge on both sides with Vaseline.
Oh.
And then we bought some glitter at the store and covered the Vaseline with glitter. So if anyone does decide to take our sign, they're going to have glitter all over their steering wheel, their seat belt, their seats, the inside of their car.
Oh, yeah, it'll never go away.
Monster energy drink. Yeah.
They'll have it forever. It'll never go away.
That's right. We saw videos online of people who did like fishing line in front of where the sign is, so that people trip over it. And
wow.
We don't want anybody hurt, but a little glitter wouldn't hurt. And of course, it's blue glitter.
Yeah, blue glitter.
Not red.
Blue glitter. So that's pretty good. I had never heard of that, actually. Sounds great. Plus, doesn't it give off a nice iridescent glow at night?
It does. Yeah, I'm looking at it. So I've got my window cam, which is a monitor that's just basically my outdoor camera, and it shows all the time, and I can see, it's windy or it's nice or whatever, and so I can see the sign there. But then we've also got the Ring doorbell, which this is placed so that both cameras can pick it up. And I don't want somebody to come and steal it, but I kind of do want somebody to come and steal it so we can get them on video going, what the hell is this?
I will say this. So in defense of Nextdoor, which I honestly don't care that much about, but occasionally it is important. Well, it becomes important. Like the night we heard these fireworks going off for no reason, and nobody knew what was going on, and they were like industrial level fireworks, just pa 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 right over by the lake. And normally this is an area where that's banned straight up. Even on the 4th of July, you cannot have fireworks in our area because of fires and stuff. And it was going off like crazy. And the only way I learned about it was Nextdoor people were like, oh, yeah, that's the city they'd screwed up and put in the newsletter a different date. It was tonight, and it's a sanctioned thing, and it was for people, but they probably had low turnout because nobody knew because it was the wrong date in the newsletter, blah, 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 blah. So there's ways to find out about that stuff. I would have never known about that naked guy walking down the street carrying the...
right? Yeah.
What was he carrying?
That's true. There are some big benefits of Nextdoor.
I don't remember what he was carrying, but the ring lights we got the ring photos we got were amazing.
And like I said, I mean, it's probably a better percentage than 25%, but I mean, we do get the, I have baby stuff that we don't need anymore. Does anybody want it? And we've got this, and we've got a whole bunch of jigsaw puzzles we bought. Does anybody want them? Yeah. The so-and-so restaurant is having a special on Thursday nights if you do takeout. So I mean, there are good sides to Nextdoor, but it sure seems like the virtual toxicity that seems to come with the current political climate seems to kind of overshadow any positivity that you'd find on that place.
I tend to agree. And also, I think it's, in my case, in our neighborhood's case, where people seem to use it for all the nice stuff, I think they just, the people who are going to be the biggest jerks haven't discovered it yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still kind of small-ish. It's not known by everyone. Like, there's a whole contingent of retirees that live, like, 6 blocks that direction who don't have any clue, but they would be chewing that thing apart. The way they do Facebook now. It took them 10 years to get there, but they're there, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that's probably what it is. But, well, anyway, good luck with that. You'll get people drive by going, all right. And then you'll have people drive by and going, F you pinko tree hugging a-hole butthole leftist.
It is a weird thing because it's not like I expect. I'm not putting it out there because I expect it to change somebody's mind. Like, oh, well, I was going to vote Trump, but that sign that I just drove by in that front yard, their lawn looks really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and change my vote. I'm going to go for Biden-Harris.
Yeah.
There's that. I can't think of any reason why I've got it out there, only because, they sent it to me because I made a donation. So I'm going to put it out there.
Right. And if this Vaseline thing works, let's keep that in mind.
And this Vaseline thing works.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm very tempted. They've got a thing going on tonight. LeVar Burton is hosting some sort of grassroots town hall with Biden and Harris and 19 unnamed Star Trek icons to talk about
19?
19.
Oh, right. I saw Brent Spiner or somebody talking about this.
Okay, so Brent is one of the 19. You'd think that they'd want to push that. Here we go. It says, join me and some friends tonight for a Star Trek themed fundraiser. So, of course, Mayor Pete has to be there because he's the biggest Star Trek fan on the
oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Side. Stacey Abrams, Andrew Yang, and 19 other Star Trek icons from throughout the years for a special Star Trek grassroots discussion.
They better be cosplayed, every damn one of them. You know
I know, right? Yes, exactly.
Andrew Yang, he needs to be Lieutenant Kim from freaking
I
Voyager.
I want to see Buttigieg with some Vulcan ears.
Yes.
If that ain't happening, then I'm hanging up.
That'd be
and then
amazing.
Friday, they're getting Lin-Manuel Miranda and the cast of Hamilton together for another one of these.
Oh, look at that.
These are actually some kind of fun events. I want to, whatever side of the aisle you're on, if you like Hamilton, it'd be cool to see.
I like all these table read things that are going on where like an old show or they just did one for Dazed and Confused weirdly.
Yes.
And I heard what's her name? Parker Posey apparently just killed it. She came like with guns blazing. She was really good. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think who else I heard was good on that. But and McConaughey was there. Like they all came.
Wow. McConaughey took a break from his Lincoln commercials to come into a table read.
Yeah, they said, you want to do this? He
goes, it was a breakthrough for him. So
he said,
cool.
all right, I sure will. All right.
Yeah. You guys keep getting older, and I'm still the same age.
What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I think that was his first movie, wasn't it? I think it was the first thing he was ever in. Yeah, he was a total dweeb.
Certainly his first big movie.
Yeah.
Was there a... Codes from Home says there was a Fast Times at Ridgemont High reading. Oh, I want to see that one.
Oh, man. Oh,
was it original cast or was it new people doing a read?
I think original, wasn't it? They did Fast Times 1 and 2.
Wow, that would be cool to see.
Wait, Shia LaBeouf did it? What was he doing? What was his point? And he was high the whole time?
He took the Nicolas Cage role. I'm sorry, the Nicolas Coppola role.
Nicolas Coppola. Was he credited as that in that? Is that why you're saying
yes.
that?
Yes, he was.
That's so weird.
He was credited as Nicolas Coppola in that one.
That's really weird.
Oh, he was Spicoli. I guess I can't see Sean Penn coming back to do a Fast Times read, I guess.
I don't know. He's pretty chill. He's all right now these days. He's coming to his own.
I feel like he wants to distance himself from that movie, from the fact that he ever did that.
He might. It's cult classic, though. I'd embrace it if I.
It is, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're an amazing actor. You've won. If he hasn't won Oscars, he's been nominated many times. Like, you're legit. You've proven yourself to be a legitimate, good method actor. Milk. You won for Milk, right?
It was great in Milk, yeah. Dead Man Walking, and
he gets a little soggy after a while, but he's pretty good in Milk.
Was Brad? I'm seeing a photo of this thing right now from AV Tech John. Was Brad Pitt the Judge Reinhold character? Was he Brad?
Shut up. Really? How did I miss this?
Oh, you think you got to play some of this on the show? Like play some of this live? It's a minute long.
Stick it into the unit there.
Okay, hello.
The old cut and paste there. Yeah, let's see
There
what
you
we
go.
got. All right,
All
I'll
right.
play just a bit of this.
Named Lisa. She lets him kiss her, but only once.
Wait, am I hearing?
That's Morgan Freeman doing the narration.
Oh my gosh, like a 7 reunion on this thing. This is fantastic.
That's right. It kind of is.
Oh man, don't look in the box. Don't look in the box. All right, let's see.
A teenage customer shouts to Brad from the front counter.
Hey, Brad, I waited till you came on. I
Hold on, that's Jimmy Kimmel. So
Yeah.
he's in here.
wanted your fries.
Brad smiles, walks over to the fryer, and discards the fries left over from the previous shift. He shouts to the other.
Oh wait, now Sean Penn is there.
Oh, is he really?
The camera just cut to Sean Penn sitting there kind of grinning. He's just at his own webcam there. All right, let's see.
employees as he
Oh,
puts
he
in a
certainly
new
is,
batch.
yeah.
We need 15 superstars, David.
Okay, Brad.
I'll take care of the fry orders. Just get me the superstars.
Fish sandwiches.
Brad spots the 3 surfers sitting at the dining area. None of them are wearing shirts.
I feel like Morgan Freeman is in this problem now.
I feel like he's eating a peanut butter bagel right now while he's doing this.
Wow. Also, Brad Pitt looks like he's on a break at the hospital. What's going on with that?
He does. Like he's on a break from the cafeteria at the hospital.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's good. Wow. All right. Well done, world of weird collaboration video business.
How do they do the cars moving in stereo scene? The Phoebe Cates coming out of the pool scene.
Yeah. How are they going to recreate that? That's Sean
And was
Penn.
Phoebe Cates there?
Sean Penn stands up and opens his shirt, and then
That's right.
we all get to see it. All right.
Doesn't anybody knock anymore?
He's not with the Madonna anymore, right? That's old. That's an old thing.
God, that's old. Yes, that's Shanghai Surprise old, Scott.
Okay, it's really old.
She's had 5 other accents since then.
Not just husbands.
That's
Accents.
5 whole affectations ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Papa don't preach. All right, let's move on. Real quick, a bunch of people have written in like this. From Alex L. wrote in and says, "Hey, how can I donate to you and Taylor? I'm usually 1 to 2 days behind TMS on the podcast. You talked about how those kids stole the bag from her car, and it really yanked my heartstrings. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and wouldn't want her to go without her books and all that. Plus, diaper bags aren't cheap. Please give me a PayPal link or some way I can give a few bucks your way, Alex." All right. I just want to use that as an example to say thank you for all your niceness and generosity and reaching out. You guys are all incredibly kind about this, but I don't want any of you to worry about it. We got it covered. It's okay. We got it. It's okay. It's all good.
Aww.
I don't want any of you to feel like you got to hork out money to help us. So we got it. We got Taylor. Kim and I got her a new bag, and the diapers. There's plenty of those. The diapers aplenty are everywhere. They're all over the place. Diapers. And the books, no problem. We'll get those. I just don't want anyone to
Lousy
feel
with diapers.
I really appreciate this outreach. I just don't want. I would feel bad if I took any of your money. I just feel bad. So I'm not going to take any of your money. Keep it where it belongs. Put it in your pants. Take it to McDonald's and see if that guy says something weird to you. Okay? Just keep your money. All right. Finally, that's it. That's all I had. Oh, no, he's sorry. Alex L says in P.S., I've always wanted to write you, but I've never had a reason. I wanted to let you know that you've helped me through some rough times and everything you do. I listen to Film Sack every night. Oh, wow. That means multiple Film Sacks a week? That's crazy.
Yeah,
I repeat
how do you do that?
Says he repeats the entire collection every time I finish. I don't even watch those movies, but I'm only on my 19th time listening through every episode. By the end of the year, I'll be 20. Jeez!
Wow.
Good
well,
Lord.
thank you for doing that. Jeez.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Also, you're crazy, but
Yeah.
also thank you.
That's one of the great things about that show, though, is that it's evergreen, right? You can listen to Film Sack whenever. There's no time on it. So I think that's great. Sorry, you were going to say. I cut you off.
I'm just curious if they watch the movies as well each time through, or one time through, or never. You know, like have they watched any of the movies more than once during this Film Sack re-listen-a-thon?
Well, in this PS says, in parentheses, I don't even watch the movies, so I
Oh.
wonder if
Oh,
they
there we
watch
go.
any
Okay.
of them. Like maybe they don't watch any.
Oh, I guess it's right here in our show notes. I could have looked at the.
Yeah, it's in that
That's
thing I
funny.
just read. Hold on, where's the air light on air light? There it is.
Is there a red on air light? Did you
Red on air
did you
light.
actually read the PS?
Oh yeah, I read the
and
whole
missed
thing.
it?
Yeah, I read the
Okay.
whole thing. It's fine. Once in a
Oh,
while-
you know what? Because I heard I listen to Film Sack every night. Okay, yeah, and I latched onto that and didn't hear anything you said after that.
Well, it's easy to do because look, anybody who listens to Film Sack every night, that's enough to stop your thoughts right where they stand and make you. You know what I mean?
right.
It worked on me. I'm like, what the frick? How do you do that every night?
Exactly. Yes. That's the part I honed in on. And
They've
did not
heard
hear
our
the second
Kroll
half of that.
episode 20 times. Kroll 20 times.
19 times. Or
Oh,
is
19.
this?
Okay.
Yeah.
They're
No,
working.
19.
They're working on. I keep saying she or he because I don't actually know this, but if it's a he, sorry. There's lots of Alex girls out there.
Could be an Alexandra, sure, right?
I don't want to throw any Alexes under the bus here, but
Don't want to assume.
nobody wants to assume, but we do want to do this. We've got time for a little news. It's brought to us by.
Brought to you by Soundography, a brand new episode going up today, and it's me making Hammond listen to the album Yo-Yo by a band called Bourgeois Tag. A guy named Brent Bourgeois teamed up with his buddy Larry Tag. They put out 2 albums. This is the second of those albums. It had one hit called I Don't Mind at All, but the whole rest of the album is worth listening to. That is, it's going to be going up on Soundography later today, soundography.com.
Wow. Larry Tag is a great name.
Larry Tag. Actually, I think Brent Bourgeois is a great name, too.
Those are both great names.
Both
They've
great
got that
names.
going for them for sure.
For sure.
All right. Check this out. Over 1,000 people got the coronavirus. You've heard of it, right? You've heard of this
I've
thing?
heard of it. Heard of this, yep.
It's going around. It's a thing, I guess. If you're not paying attention to the news, maybe you don't know about it. But yeah, coronavirus. It's the thing. Anyway, at a Sri Lanka factory that makes masks for the United States.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. More than
Methinks they doth protest too much. No, I'm just
more. I hope these people are all right. More than 1,000 workers have tested positive for the coronavirus at this factory that until late August was producing surgical masks for the U.S., according to officials on Wednesday, as they scramble to find the source of the country's biggest outbreak. The flurry of cases since the first positive test at the garment factory was reported 3 days ago pushed the island nation's infection rate to nearly 4,500. Factory owner Brandix, hailed internationally for its sustainable practices, said efforts to contain the explosion of infections at the site near the capital of Colombo were hampered by a high number of asymptomatic carriers. Boy, you're hearing a lot of that lately. It's a lot of asymptomatic folks
Yep.
who just don't even know they got it, and that's a problem, turns out.
That is a problem. Yep. That's why you do the masks, because you may not be feeling any symptoms, but you can still spread the disease.
Yep. We had 1,500 new cases in Salt Lake County 2 days ago, and I think that was our record for the county.
Colorado went up too in the last couple days.
That's no fun.
No.
Oh, I did get my flu shot. Did I tell you about that?
Oh, you told us you were going to get your flu shot, and
oh yeah, I told you
so
on Sunday.
how sore are you?
So
Yeah.
not at all. This is the weird bit. So they got these. The guy described them as these special new shorty ones. His word was not shorty ones. That's me describing what I saw. It was like a little short little thing. It didn't look like a normal deal, but he still had to attach a needle to it. I said, well, my friend says that his wife got one and they had to use larger gauge needles because they were out of the others. As Dunaway calls them, McDonald straws.
Yeah, sorry, McFlurry straws.
McFlurry
McDonald's
straws. And anyway, these were not that. These are normal kinds. So that probably helped. But it was also this weird mechanism where you put it up to your arm and you touch it, almost Star Trek-y. It just goes cha-chunk. Like
really?
without like inserting and pushing or whatever.
Almost like the some people have these for doing their blood tests for diabetes.
Oh, right.
Or for insulin, like where they check and it just does a little finger prick, but it's like an instant, and then they get a little drop of blood that they can do with the test. And
yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It was like a very automatic, kind of pneumatic, almost kind of action.
Yeah,
and it for a second burned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the feeling of the juice going in, you know.
The cocktail.
But then nothing. It didn't hurt. I didn't really feel
That's
the.
great.
The
yeah,
I
you
didn't
don't have
feel
any
the
ache or
prick.
anything.
Yeah, I didn't really feel the prick.
Right. There you go. Sometimes Jamie just need a little freebie.
Sometimes I even know it when I'm going into it, but you know. But anyway, my wife, she's a little sore when she does this, like arm up, muscle kind of pain, but I haven't had any. You could hit me. Excuse me.
Well, that's how it starts right there. That's how it starts.
You could punch me in the arm real hard right now. I don't think it would hurt. Like I'll do it.
Oh,
to myself.
really?
I'll do it to myself.
Wait. So it's even made you immune to physical harm.
Yeah. Look at this. You can punch me.
Like a gun show. Look at that. It's like.
All right. It hurts a little, just a tiny bit.
I feel better than ever.
Oh boy! Don't get me started. All right.
Jury's later. Don't worry. It's all good.
Don't you
People
guys worry. We'll save it all.
This episode.
Yeah, we'll save it all. Let's see. They're trying to figure it out. That's the whole deal there.
I hope they're all fine. Hope they all get past it, and please don't send us those masks. Thank you.
No, I don't want masks from Sri Lanka suddenly. Check where those are made. All right. Conservationists believe up to 1,500 birds were killed in a single day after flying into a Philadelphia skyscraper. Birds are stupid.
It just went up like that.
Yeah.
Like it was instant.
Yeah, it was like doing, and they didn't know. That's
The birds couldn't get out of the way in time. Ah!
Right. They erected it very quickly, and birds all died. Birds are stupid, basically, is what I'm going to say before I start reading this, because they're stupid. It says here, it should have been a routine morning for, I don't know how to read this, Makajewski? Makajewski? Is that right?
Something like that.
He should be wearing tracks.
I would say the last 6 letters are definitely Jewski.
Okay.
And I would say it's either Macy Jewski or Massajewski.
That last part is definitely Jewski.
Definitely Jewski. There's definitely some Jewski in that name there. It sounds like yeah, you got a little Jewski in you.
Yeah, you got a little Jewski. It sounds like somebody who would be wearing a tracksuit and stuffing me into his trunk because I didn't pay up, but you know, whatever.
Right.
71-year-old Autobahn man in It's Pennsylvania town, I guess.
Yeah.
You ever go there? Is there a newspaper there? Did you ever do that?
No, well, Autobahn is the group, the bird.
Audubon Society. Oh.
Yeah, it's not a city. I mean, there probably is a city somewhere, Audubon, but
it's full of birds.
It's for the birds, Scott.
For the birds. Anyway, it says he expected to find some dead or injured birds that need to be collected and tallied. That's always what you do. It's peak migration time. There's always a few birds that don't make it.
Sure.
It's part of the circle of life, see? But on the morning of October 2nd, that was Sunday, he quickly realized there were far more birds than he was used to retrieving. Hundreds more. Wow. I've never seen anything like this, says Makajewski. I told CNN on Tuesday, there were birds everywhere, and they were all dead. The birds were dead. This is a great Halloween story. He began collecting the fallen birds at 5:30 a.m. 2 hours later, he realized he needed backup, so he called Keith Russell.
I need backup. I need backup.
Bring him in. We got
too many dead birds.
Keith Russell came out there, who sounds like a basketball coach or something, doesn't it?
Totally. Keith Russell, yeah.
Keith Russell.
Coach Russell.
Yeah, Coach Keith Russell. Is there an actual Keith Russell and I just can't? Something's throwing me off there. Anyway,
it seems like the pretty common first and last name. So
yeah, not Kurt, Luke, someone else. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bill Russell. Bill Russell is who you're connecting.
Oh, Bill Russell. Bill Russell. That's
sure.
it.
Bill Russell. Yeah.
And there's probably a Keith. There's probably a Keith.
Bill
somewhere.
Russell Johnson. Sure.
Bill Russell Johnson.
Russell Johnson.
Yeah, Russell Johnson, professor extraordinaire. He could make anything out of a coconut shell. That guy was great.
Good. So true.
Anyway, the volunteers were able to collect 400 birds. He says he immediately jumped out of bed. This was a big deal, he told the Canadian news network. Just kidding, it's CNN.
When did he jump out? Like, at what point during this whole thing did he jump out of bed? Because he was collecting the birds and then realized, oh my God, there are a lot of birds out here.
Different guy.
Was it a dream and then he jumped out of bed, or was it a different day he jumped out of bed?
It was a different dude. It's Keith. See, this is Keith Russell. The other guy.
This is the guy he called for backup.
Yeah,
backup.
Yeah, backup. And the guy in bed went.
Keith Russell jumped out of bed.
Yeah, gotcha. Keith Russell. Okay. He was out of bed and out of there. So Makajewski and Russell and other volunteers were able to collect 400 birds, most of which were dead, others injured, They weren't able to reach every building they needed to that day, so they estimated the birds found represented just 1/3 of the deaths, meaning the total would be somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. I just can't stop thinking about it, says Masajewski.
Listen, I've seen Dark. I've been watching Dark, and I'm about halfway through the final season, the 3rd season of Dark. Every time they do that time travel, birds fall out of the sky. So I think that's the problem.
Oh, well, see, why weren't they consulting you? Is what I want.
Exactly. It's time travel. It's not skyscrapers. The skyscrapers aren't the problem. It's German time travelers.
Yeah. Once again, it's their problem.
Sick mundus or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Sick mundus.
Sick mundus. We're going to take a sick mundus and be back in a minute with jury duty. Justin and Robert Young will be here. We're going to talk about, I think there are debates today or something. Are there?
Nope. There was supposed to be, but there was going to be a virtual one that got canceled.
So there's no debate this week then?
There is no debate this week. Trump did not want to, quote unquote, waste his time with a virtual debate.
Waste his time. Huh. You know,
Yes.
we can probably talk to
I
Jerry
only
about
want
this.
to be in a room with Joe. I don't want to. Sidian says town hall tomorrow. Is it? It's not with both of them though. Is that just with Biden?
Is that a Biden town hall or a Trump town hall?
Yeah, just Biden says Sidian. There's still another.
Trump doesn't do town halls.
Another debate.
He only just does big chanting crowds. He doesn't
Like
do
rallies. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
he doesn't do town halls.
I don't want to
means you gotta
listen.
talk.
I don't want to listen to the people asking me questions. I just want to hear them tell me how much they love me. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, we're gonna get emails today. It's fine. Whatever.
Fine,
At
send
this
them.
stage,
Send
we're
them to me.
deep. We are deep. Yeah, send them to Brian Coverville at gmail.com.
Send them to me. I'll take them.
Yeah, let him know.
Here's how I read them.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna do all that in a sec. But before that, though, I really need a break from music.
This is Philippe. He's an intelligent child and a very attractive one. But Philippe is a problem. At school, at home, to himself. Philippe is an overly aggressive child. What can be done?
It's unbeatable protection.
This is the morning stream. Dave's not here, man.
All right, we're back, everybody. Dave is indeed not here.
Dave's not here.
Sounded like The Offspring and Blur had a baby.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people putting stuff like that in there. Silver Sun pickups.
It's good though. I liked it.
Let's see. It was good. It's heavy duty, man. Heavy duty.
Heavy duty. It's how I like my cleaners. It's how I like my
sure.
My industrial equipment. It's how I like my ladies.
Sure. Heavy duty ladies.
Heavy
Absolutely.
duty ladies.
I like my ladies heavy duty.
Heavy duty. We're trying now to call Justin, and he is but only blinking for me, so I do not know the status of one Justin Robert Young. So for now, I'm going to pause this.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay.
Oh, that was weird. Hold on. That was really weird. Why did it do that? Let me fix that and then not pause it. Okay, instead, I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is, this guy's here.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Me too, most of the time, but not today, because on Tuesdays, we have our good pal Justin Robert Young join us from the political annals of his life. Takes a moment out of his day and says, hey, what if I went on there and said stuff? So we're glad to have you back. Hi, Justin.
That's a great explanation of my entire life.
Yeah, sounds right.
What if I went on there and said stuff?
Well, can you turn yourself up just a tad for me? For some reason, you're a little low.
Got it. How about that? How about
there
that?
we go.
Oh, much better.
Much
The warm
better.
dulcet tones.
The warm,
Justin
tasty
Robert Young.
voice we've come to love. All right, hey Justin, it's good to have you here. It's a Tuesday, which means political talk, and whether this is either the time people really hunker down and listen, or they skip this part and go to the song. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But we'll
They're probably the smart ones.
Probably. I got a question for you because we were just talking about this pre-commercial or commercial song break.
Pre-song, yeah.
Commercial break. There's no debate tonight, right? We're done. There's no
the debate was gonna be Thursday.
Oh, okay.
It will now
Thursday, okay.
not be Thursday. The third debate allegedly will happen. There has been no movement to indicate. Both campaigns have said that they are excited to do the third debate. And now, yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's any hope of the second debate happening, even though, according to the president's personal physician, he is tested negative for COVID, and he was at a rally yesterday. That I think that the in-person debate on Thursday, assuredly not going to happen. The one next week, likely to happen.
Okay. So this whole thing where they were going to do it virtually and Trump objected, said he didn't want to waste his time with it or whatever. I thought of you when I heard that, because isn't there some precedence for this, even back as far as Kennedy, Nixon, their second debate or third debate, something like that?
The third ever debate was done via satellite television with Richard Nixon in Los Angeles and JFK in New York City. And while people did point to that as a precedent, it is worth noting that Nixon hated it, and that after the debate after that one, they didn't do another television debate for 18 years.
Oh,
so it doesn't exactly have the best track record in terms of being the preference of the candidates themselves.
Well, plus you're also talking about, I would actually argue both men prefer a stage-like presence. Certainly Trump. He is all about,
thrives on that.
Well, yeah. And I think Joe too. Joe I think is at his best in retail settings, even now, which is kind of in another world where everything wasn't totally topsy-turvy. You would think that this would be a tremendous hampering for Joe Biden, because he does love getting out there and mixing it up with people, and he is at his best when he is folksy in person. And I think that's why the Biden campaign was very, very upset that it was the middle debate that was scuttled. In fact, initially they wanted the third debates format to be the second debate, because the second debate was going to be that town hall format where they're surrounded by people, and it's not the moderators asking questions, it's the people asking the questions.
Yeah.
Yes, Ken Bone. I think during the Obama Romney one, it was in Long Island, so it was just like everybody like Mr. Romney.
And I have to think Trump hates that format. I don't know that, because I don't think I've ever seen him do one of them unless it.
No, he did it with Clinton.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, that was the pacing one, because they were on stools, right? And they had the town hall
on stools, and then they were walking, and that's where Clinton, Hillary has let us know through her book and her documentary and her podcast and her limited dramatic series and her wax cylinders,
her one woman off Broadway production,
her one woman off woman production, her Howard Stern interview. Yeah. If only there were more access into Hillary Clinton's thoughts about this. Honestly, I feel like there's some undiscovered stuff here, but she was very upset that Donald Trump was standing behind her, which in rewatching it seemed less to me like he was looming and more like he was just kind of waiting in line at a Subway.
Yeah, a little bit.
He was just kind of like as if like she was going to make her way to the right and he was just going to like step up and order his spicy BMT. But yeah, no, that was that debate. Trump actually did okay there. I think in general, it serves to highlight the humanity of politicians. But both of these guys are fairly transparent in terms of you recognizing that they are more, you see more of yourself in them. Now, you might not like what you see in Trump, but you certainly like, there's a reason why even when people are critical of Trump, they're like, oh, he's like my 5-year-old, or he's like a child, or he's selfish, or he's mean. It's because we recognize these things.
We see them ourselves.
We see that stuff.
And for Biden, even the good and the bad, senility or the diminishedness or the brain fartness or the stuttering, whatever you want to call it, along with the like kind of more open heart thing. Biden has made literally an entire career out of that.
Yeah, that's his whole
And
thing.
and the town hall style ones are undecided voters, right? That make up the
Usually,
audience?
yeah. It's usually undecided
How
voters.
can they find
from-
those people
Yeah,
these days?
how is that not just some kind of unicorn? Like they exist? Like that's a thing? Who in this world? I don't want to diminish this because I actually just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Are there people that are like somehow they're like, I don't know, still trying to decide.
Well, I mean,
weighing my
don't
options.
you got to understand really what that means. It's not like they're like oh man, President Trump, Cheeto in chief, get out of the White House, you con artist. And then they watch an ad from Trump and there's like, well, I don't know, maybe he did do all he could. Like, I need to rethink this. Like, it's not like that, right?
Okay.
It's
I hope
more
I don't like either of these people. Who am I
Yes,
voting for?
Exactly. Yeah. It's more like,
Yeah.
well, you know, I voted for Reagan and I voted for George W. Bush. I voted for Obama once, and now I don't know. I didn't really like the Obama thing, so I don't really like Biden, and I really am kind of put off by Trump, so I'm undecided. Right. It's usually people that are leaning one way or another. And so when you talk about undecided voters, you're really more talking about motivating voters who have not decided to vote yet. Like they are not these like smooth-skinned, hairless creatures that you know, are going to like take upon a pigment and sprout flowing locks once they make their decision.
Yeah. There are times when the language is used, I just think, what mythic creatures are they discussing here? But the way you put it, the undecidedness isn't about deciding between the candidates as much as it is deciding whether to vote or not. Because that's still, everyone forgets, that's always the other option. You know, it's part of the freedom to vote is the freedom to not vote. And yeah, that makes sense. Now, you know what? I finally get that. We've done it, you guys. We did it. Today was the day. Write it down in your diaries. Scott figured out what the hell that means. And it's because of Justin's crack work. Not crack cocaine, but crack work on the things he brings to the show. All right, so there's all that. I want to just do a quick, not a recap so much, but just thoughts from you on last week's vice presidential thing happened here in Salt Lake City.
Sure.
There was the whole fly thing. Most famous fly in all of politics. Now a Utah connection. Feeling pretty good about that. Also, it's fly season here, so I am zero surprised. And I'll bet you there were 10 flies on Kamala Harris, but her hair is dark and it's hard to see. So
yeah,
there are flies in Utah right now. That's just this is what happens in October. Don't judge us for this, but we get flies in October.
I'm surprised that they didn't keep that area like David Letterman's studio cold, right? like I would assume that would just be you just do these in a meat locker. Like you should be seeing their breath while they talk.
Yeah, that Eccles, I forget the name of the actual venue. I've been in there and it does get cold. So I don't know what happened. Maybe that fly was just too fly
life,
for
man.
yeah. I mean, he knows he's only got like 24 hours.
I did love the fact that after the first debate, everybody was like, oh, where did our civility go? Where did our discourse go? Oh, the terrible, wretched state of our modern political world. Why we used to talk about ideas. Like 1 week later, that dude got a fly on his head. Look at his head. It's a fly. Fly head. Look at you, fly head.
It was the most like, I mean, as soon as I saw it, I went, oh, someone got an eye on the internet. Like, what's it going to do? We can all go down. We're all going down here for a minute. We're going to have an overload of.
I actually tend to think that if we were talking about the fly, then Kamala didn't do a great job because I think in general, press tends to reward Democrats more than Republicans when it comes to debates. I thought Pence actually did a fairly good job in sort of rattling Kamala early with, turning her words around of the Trump administration did a bad job on coronavirus to how dare you say that the American people did a bad job with
right,
coronavirus?
yes.
Which I thought stumbled Harris, and past that, it didn't let her get to, I think, the position that she eventually got to later in the debate, which is trying to soften her image with the John Kasich, Cindy McCain Democrats that they really want to get out to the polls. They want never Trumpers who, in Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio and Pennsylvania to come and vote for Biden. And I think that if there's ever a situation where it does not benefit the Biden campaign, it is when Mike Pence, a very traditional Republican who looks like every Republican you've ever voted for and talks like every Republican you ever voted for, if you are one of those voters, is up against Kamala, who is somebody that many conservatives worry is the gateway to the more radical wing of the Democratic Party than Joe Biden is. And so I think that nothing really changed there, although the headline on all this conversation is nobody cares about the vice presidential debates and they don't matter.
Yeah, that was kind of my vibe too. And if they didn't, that fly wouldn't have taken such center stage, I mean, part of it was the pure white background it got to lay on.
it landed on the most high contrast area it could possibly
land. That man has
land.
shock white hair. He looks like Johnny Quest's dad.
Yeah.
That's right.
He does. No, you're thinking of the helper
Race
guy,
Bannon.
Race Bannon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Race
he looks
Bannon.
like
Yeah,
Race
'cause
Bannon.
Johnny Quest's dad had the brown hair and the goatee.
Although maybe Justin's cracked
whatever.
open.
The adult
maybe
figure.
Race Bannon was Johnny Quest's dad the whole time.
Yeah, the adult figure in Johnny Quest. I haven't really seen enough Johnny Quest to know the difference. To be brutally honest with you.
Yeah, he looks like a cross between Race Bannon and Cotton Hill, Hank Hill's dad. That's basically Mike Pence.
Right.
He's aging into Cotton Hill.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that is where he's going. You know what's funny is he's lost weight. Have you seen like any of the video clip of when he was a radio host?
I didn't
Mike
know
Pence?
he was a radio host. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. No, that's why I always thought that he was going to do better than people thought. Like everybody looks at him as like a gigantic carton of milk that's been painted off-white, so you can watch off-white paint dry on a milk container.
Sure.
But I think it's largely because he just kind of got on this Trump thing in large part because he was so damaged from the gay scandal when he was governor of Indiana, where the businesses were like he stood by businesses' abilities to deny service to gay people, that like a fairly ascendant kind of career in Republican politics was sort of derailed. And so when Trump had no help from the Republican Party, and he was looking through the scratch and dent aisle of like name brand Republican people that could appeal to evangelicals, Mike Pence was there. But I think he's certainly more of a firebrand than his modern persona lets on, because he did AM radio. You read some of his old transcripts. He like ripped into Mulan because it was like, yeah, it was like indoctrination that women should be in the military and blah, blah, blah. Like very very dated 90s conservative takes.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of this, part of me felt like Kamala Harris didn't have the canvas she likes, which is she would like if you put her up against Trump, I feel like you'd get fire out of her. She'd just be brah and would explode for good or for ill. She would be like in more of her element of like let's go to the mat here. Whereas with Pence, everything was just, well, we see under this president we've been able to do more than ever before. Like just that whole shtick is just so hard to like react to. Like, what are you gonna even do when he says, "The truth of the matter is, we love our frackers"? Okay. Like, what are you supposed to say to that?
So two things to that. Number one, I don't know if I know that people the people that fell in love with Kamala Harris fell in love with her during the Kavanaugh hearing. And it was because she was as prosecutorial as she as she was, and she was very, very, very much, attacking and trying to, make a gigantic point of how unfit for that seat as she believed that he was. The problem is that according to some polls, it was the blowtorching of Kavanaugh that helped marshal Republican support in the midterms. And considering how many close races there were, up to and including the governorships of Georgia and Florida with Andrew Gillum and Stacey Abrams, and the Ted Cruz's Senate seat in Texas against Beto O'Rourke, there is a fear that being too aggressive, or Kamala being too aggressive, would interrupt what the Democrats believe is a glide path to victory.
Yeah.
Like they believe that this is all but over. They are up 21 points in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go, and all they have to do is play prevent defense and just, make the other team take as much time off the clock so this just runs out. Like that's where they're at. And so it's the same reason why you're not going to see Harris unleashed like you saw her during the Kavanaugh hearings. Is the same reason why they're really not going to push on these Supreme Court hearings. Like you've heard him say this process is illegitimate, including from Harris herself yesterday. You've heard them say that, well, Amy Coney Barrett's going to be bad for health care, but you haven't heard them bring out what has been the argument from the Democratic Party for my entire life, which is vote for the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is the most important thing you could possibly vote for, and Roe versus Wade is the most important thing that we can possibly protect, and the lives of women and the health and reproductive rights of the majority of our country is at stake right now. And they're not going to push as hard on that because they're afraid that if they make this a gigantic battle, one that they will likely lose because they don't have the votes, all it will do is jeopardize Biden's chances in November.
Interesting. That does sound like the strategy. That's the strategy I would use if I were them. Honestly, it seems like the right one. Otherwise, you're just creating. Well, you're sort of taking you're kind of taking the bait a little bit, right? And I'm not saying that this particular nominee is purely bait or anything, but they'd love it if Democrats freaked out constantly up and down the wall and wouldn't stop about this, because it would distract and cause stuff, right?
I mean, maybe. I tend to believe that sometimes politicians can over-strategize themselves. Now, conversely, you could make the argument that there is some very, very, very deliberate under-strategizing on the Trump side throughout this election, because it doesn't appear like Trump's message discipline is somewhere between a company that sells fake leather jackets out of China having a bunch of Fiverr people type up different slogans for Instagram ads. Yeah. Like it's just whatever. Like they're just writing a ton of stuff, and it doesn't really matter whether they connect to the previous or the next. But in general, I do think at times you can fear the headlines so much that the headlines come for you. And that's an example of like, all right, well, this in this moment is one thing. Hillary not having a coherent answer / apology for her emails for a year and a half definitely hurt her.
Yeah.
Like that was a situation where she probably could have at least put the portion that was fed by her evasiveness to rest 6 months before the national media really fell upon the general election. And she didn't, and she paid for it. So my opinion is to not be afraid of these kinds of conflicts. You should run through these kinds of conflicts because that demonstrates that your campaign is strong. But I can understand the logic.
They also seem to be letting others do it, like Amy Klobuchar going off in the hearings, and they're stating a lot of the things that you're saying. It's just specifically the Biden-Harris campaign seem to be avoiding.
I mean, in general, the this is not as gloves off as Kavanaugh was, right? When you are litigating in the Senate confirmation, some of the personal stuff, when we get that bizarre spectacle where Brett Kavanaugh is bringing out his childhood calendar, and we're doing that, like,
jeez,
that is going to the absolute limits of trying to examine that man's life and soul and crimes and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
There's like rules of the road with Amy Coney Barrett right now. Like, they don't want to attack her. They don't want to attack her religion. They don't want to come off as showing that they are being unduly unfair to a woman. And that's very electorally minded, because right now Biden is killing Trump with women voters, and they don't want to give any excuse for any of them to stay home. And they don't want to go after her as any kind of racist, because she's adopted multiple children from Haiti.
Right.
So
7 kids, I think.
those right there are guidelines that none of which existed for Kavanaugh. There was no like sacred, whatever you do, don't talk about blank. It was just rip them apart. If somebody gets his arm, we'll pay an extra $50.
Yeah. It's one thing I want to mention here is, like, now it's actually getting easier for me to talk about this stuff as strategy or lack of strategy or overthinking or, whatever on their parts. Whereas I used to look at this stuff purely from like 100% what I viewed to be a moral perspective of someone's doing something wrong or in contradiction to what they've said before or whatever. I'm starting to lean into this as strategy. Like, I have to start looking at it like that, or I'll go crazy. So to me, this is like watching, some esport and somebody's really good at StarCraft 2, and I'm like, oh, interesting. They're going to send Zerg over the left hill, and they don't expect that because those guys are over there. And that's normally not something you do because it's kind of under the table rude to do that. But that might mean this match gets won. Like, I'm starting to be able to see through those eyes the political stuff, and it's helping me. It's helping me be a little more even-keeled emotionally about it, because previous to this, I would get so wrapped up in, like, if somebody said something terrible, I'd just go, for example, Lindsey Graham saying last year, hold these words against me if you need to, but we should never elect a blah, blah, blah in the year of the blah, blah, blah. And now he's just doing the exact opposite. Tell me that 2 years ago, I'd have been incensed and blown away and couldn't believe it. And what the hell? Now I'm like, what is he going to gain from that? And will it backfire? Because what a weird strategy is to be so bald-faced about, yes, this is what I'm supporting now, and you should call me on this in the future. And now the future's here, and people are calling him on it, but he's holding the party line and doing the party thing. Like, I'm seeing it differently than just my red-hot outrage. I'm seeing it as like...
The Lindsey Graham thing in particular is hilarious, because we've never had a justice die really close to an election in recent memory, right? And so he comes out and he's like, hey, this is never happening before, ain't never happening again. If it ever happens again, then I'll do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like, this will be like ridiculous. Like, I want to make sure that everything's on the record, because, like, I just got struck by lightning. It ain't never going to happen again. And then 40 years later, kaboom. And he's like, well, F me running. Like, isn't this a real pickle?
Who could have seen this?
I literally, the same thing? Really? Oh my God. Like, this is what a horrifying accident. The thing is what I really want in everything that I do in Raise the Dead and politics is not to take away people's moral convictions. I really don't. People often think that I'm the opposite, that these things have to be exclusive to one another. But I don't. I have my own moral convictions. I have my own reasons why I formulate my vote. But every day that the politicians and their staff wake up, they're not thinking about the morality. And I'm not, that's not to say that they are amoral. It is to say that there is a craft that they ply, right? Like this is their job. Their job is to win. Their job is to stay in power. So they might, and again, let's not even look at it cynically. Let's say like, so they can do the moral thing that you believe in. So they can do the moral thing that they share with you, the voter. But even on that level. So I really, my point is never to make people cynical, because I don't believe I'm cynical, and I don't believe that I do any kind of cynical sort of analysis. I do believe that to assume that there is not a strategy here is being willfully ignorant. And to assume that every politician and their staff wakes up and says, by moral clarity, I walk forward today, right? And that's why I'm doing this. And I'm making these decisions. No, they're doing it because they want to be disciplined. They don't want to hurt their cause. They don't want to erode the people who like them, their faith in them. They want to continue to attract new audience. This is all strategic elements.
They want you to think that they are walking,
that they're altruistic
in that way. Yeah, they want you to think they wake up and say those words, and that's where the snap happened for me. Is I think I stopped buying. It's just fat lies. It's like they're not being truthful with you. So what you're left with is that can be really depressing, and I went through that phase. But at the same time, it can be a little bit less depressing because now I can look at it for what it is. And what it is not what they tell you what it is. What they want you to think. See, that's the problem. Is it works is the problem. So if Mike Pence says, "Today I will follow in the steps of Jesus." Okay, if he says that, he's saying it because there's enough people who go, "Yes, you are," and "Oh, isn't that great?" And people freaking buy it. It's the buying it we have to stop doing. And then that's where I believe the accountability will come from in the long term. It's not going to happen overnight, but accountability comes from us stop buying it, analyze it for what it actually is and for what is actually happening, which I think you do a great job of. And then accountability comes from the fact that stuff no longer works. Like, you can tell me the best sugar cereals in the world when I was a kid, and I'd watch those commercials with awe, and I couldn't wait to get my own box of freaking honeycomb because it's big, yeah, and all that. I was excited. But nowadays I look at it and go, you're all just selling the same bad combination of wheat and fillers and corn, and you're all trying to make me think yours is better than the other. Like, there's a point where you just get over it. And then you realize, well, I'm just going to eat what I like. And turns out the thing I like is the thing no one's advertising. I'm just going to eat that. I feel like that's where at least I'm headed. And I feel like maybe the entirety of the electorate might eventually get there, because at some point you're going to buy into a thing that just never gets delivered. And then you'll get cynical in a healthy way, if that's even a way to say that. And you'll be able to see it and say, well, if somebody says he walks in the shoes of Jesus, but he's, banging his secretary or whatever contradictory thing. Then you can start going, oh, all right, well, that's just because people believe it, and also less people maybe will now believe it. And then the less people believe that, the more they're forced to do things that are actually relevant, that actually get something done, and that actually deserve that moral vote you're trying to find. I hope anyway.
Maybe he took off his Jesus shoes before
he may have.
Secretary.
Look, whatever.
So he wasn't walking. He wasn't walking. Technically, he wasn't walking. Well, all right. I'm going to do something that I don't know if I've ever done on any podcast in my life.
Oh, geez. All right.
I'm going to defend.
Keep your clothes on.
I'm going. No, that's long gone. I'm going to defend politicians because.
Okay.
I don't know if they are inherently lying any more than a dancer is lying when they just start dancing, and you assume that they're just born with the dancing ability, right? Or a musician who picks up a violin just starts playing. Like, we don't see the practice, we don't see the effort, we don't see the craft. We just see the result.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we fall in love with the result. And yes, they are appealing to that moral center. But again, I'm not saying that they don't have that within them as well. I'm just saying it's not exclusively what's within them.
Yeah.
And it is, the more we are locked into it, the call to tribalism that allows us to dehumanize our fellow men and women who ultimately we have more in common with than we do the politicians.
Yeah.
That's my thing, is that I don't feel that there necessarily has to be an adversarial relationship between us and politicians. I just would kind of appreciate the toning down a bit of the hero worship, and sometimes realizing for us, for you know, the people that are voting, it's like the more we allow ourselves, or we gaslight ourselves, the more that the only people that really win are politicians that, as you mentioned, can be held unaccountable when they don't do what they promise.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing. It's just, let's just hold people account. If they don't do it, then I'm sorry. Like, you failed. You will earn less of my enthusiasm and less of my vote. Because if we are very tribal and very partisan, then that means that nothing can get done. You know, in the same way that nothing, like literally 100-year plague ravaging our country.
Mm-hmm.
And because just in the same way that the Democrats are being hands off on Amy Coney Barrett, and the Republicans are closing ranks around Trump, we're not going to get another round of COVID relief, either direct payments to the people or the Paycheck Protection Program to help small businesses stay open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's partisan.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the politicians in Washington are betting that we would rather be happy that the other side lost than to have our fellow citizens be helped.
Yeah.
And so far, they're right.
Yeah, and I hate that. That's yeah, I hate that. All right. Well, I think we've gone places today. Feels like a segment that went places. To take it further, Justin has all kinds of other content. What would you like to mention today before we go?
I'm getting creepily looked at by my wife. I don't know if she wants anything.
The bird.
Then
shit.
why were you? All right. She was trying to not squeak the door, but instead she just was staring at me.
She's like,
she heard you saying that you were going to do something on a podcast you've never done before, and
Oh,
she
that
knows
was
what
it.
you've done before.
I know exactly, right? She's like, I got to see this myself. So I should have done this plug up front before everybody tuned out, but Raise the Dead, episode 2, available now. Talk about the strategy of politics. This is all about how oftentimes that moral center of a politician is something that has to live side by side with the reality of party politics. And so take two men that could not be more diametrically opposed in their moral centers. And I do believe that both of these politicians are, as I called the episode, true believers. And those are Bernie Sanders, a democratic socialist, and Barry Goldwater, the father of modern conservatism. They would have spirited, if they were contemporaries to each other, would have spirited arguments about exactly the role of government and how it does or does not benefit the populace. However, they were both extraordinarily loathed by their parties. And in this episode of Raise the Dead, I explained to you how Barry Goldwater made his way through the Republican primary, dispatching the establishment candidates, only to face a coup from his party's leadership, including George Romney, who has a very Romney-esque moment during this episode, but also how that exact same situation repeated itself in 2020, only with it being victorious from the Democratic establishment. All explained in the most recent episode of season 2 of Raise the Dead, The True Believers, raisethedeadpodcast.com.
Nice. Go check it out. It's Justin Robert Young, Justin R. Young on Twitter. And, of course, right after this show, you'll see his Twitch channel because I'll send a bunch of you over there, as well as what I already did, Twitter. Justin R. Young on Twitter. Justin, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
See you, Gerbs.
See ya.
Bye now.
Play the clip.
Oh, shit. I didn't do it before you left.
The jury will now retire.
But it was still important to do. So
yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
I've run out of Jeopardy episodes to listen to on the bike, so I'm switching to Raise the Dead.
Nice. It's actually very good. I got a preview of the whole season, and it's I liked it better than the first season. So
the answer was debate.
Debate. I'm sorry.
Melissa, you have the board.
Hey, I have a theory, or I want to ask you. You tell me if this is crazy or not.
Yes, you're going to ask me if Alex Trebek has been replaced by a robot.
No, close though.
Okay.
If he passes away or retires,
yes.
Do you think that what's his name will take over? Smart guy winner. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Ken Jennings.
Ken Jennings. Do you think that's a thing? I mean, you hope not, but do you think that's possible that that's what they're eyeing?
Has that even been talked about or something? Is that
he guest hosted something and then
did he really? I don't think he's got the charisma to be a game show host. I think he's. And listen, I've met the guy. I've played mock Jeopardy against the guy, and thank goodness I got a booze category, or else I probably wouldn't have scored any points that time. But he's a really, really nice guy, but I don't think he has even for a low key game like Jeopardy, I don't think he's got the game show host charisma for that. I think they're really, they've got one and only one obvious choice, and that's Brian Ibbett to be.
I agree. Yes, 100%. Listen,
but how much trouble would I get in for like imitating the contestants when they get something wrong? Like,
no
Ernest
problem.
Hemingway.
Yeah.
Look, I'm Bob. Bip, 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 Ernest Hemingway.
Look. Here's what happens. Vanna White retires. Ken Jennings steps in. That's what I'm saying.
There we go. Sure.
Have him turn letters. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think he's affable. He's nice. He's really friendly. He's a great guy, but I think you need somebody. You need a Drew Carey, Bob Barker situation where somebody comes in. Will Ferrell might be a good choice.
Can you imagine?
No, I'm kidding. That would be both hilarious and horrible
and
to have him come in. And
it's a terrible idea and a great idea all at the very same time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ken Jennings.
I don't know if you've seen any. Jane Lynch has stepped into the Anne Robinson, I think was her name, the Anne Robinson role on The Weakest Link, and Jane Lynch. It feels like the cookie cutter hole for a redo of The Weakest Link was perfectly Jane Lynch size.
Yeah, very Lynchian.
She fits that thing so perfectly and doesn't crack herself up with insulting the contestants. It's great.
Exactly. She's great. We just watched Best in Show because my daughter had never seen it. I made her watch it.
Awesome.
She's great in that. So yeah, Jane Lynch. Let's do it. All right. Quick one of these.
Fan service.
Quick fan service for. Crap. Well, we know the name of the site. I didn't get. Oh, it's Chris Renshaw. Sorry, Chris Renshaw wrote in. Says, you know that guy that did the comic bookery segment a long time ago on Tuesdays? Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Now I'm doing a board game podcast called Boards and Swords. If you like bad humor with your board games, you should check it out. Where you can hear jokes like this. All right, if a pig was murdered on Noah's boat, would it be a Arkham horror? If you are in a bathroom for a long time without your phone, is that a Game of Thrones, the board game? Spelled bored like you're bored? Well, that's a terrible joke. And much worse, he says. So I don't know how you do that, but you can find it at...
You really set the bar, Chris.
Wow, much worse. Boardsandswords.com. Thanks. And is it too early to get a fish sandwich? The answer is no.
Hey, it's too early to get a fish sandwich.
It was almost too early, but I got it.
Proof right there that it is not too early to get a fish sandwich.
Never too early. If you have a fan service you'd like to send in, we still have kind of a backlog, but if you want to send those in, you can. TheMorningStream@gmail.com. And that's our email address for all sorts of interactions that you would like to have with us. Also, frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. And do not forget to support our Patreon at patreon.com/TMS. A reminder that, as promised, I'm doing a super secret-y interview with Chris Metzen today. Big stuff coming out of that.
Secret.
Although
we all know about it. We all know about it. It's not super secret.
Well, what comes out in
is it secret to Chris Metzen? Does he know about it?
Yeah, he's aware. The content within it, let's call that secret.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
And you may not hear it until about the 19th, I'm told, because there's a couple things that have to happen
NDA
before then.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. So watch for that. That'll be a couple hours for me, and then you guys will hear it soon. It'll be great. Very excited about that. And what else is happening today? It's just
meanwhile, I'm gonna go watch Apple announce the iPhone Mini. I'm gonna watch them announce the HomePod Mini, which looks like a Magic 8-ball with a Siri screen on top. I'm gonna watch them.
Have we already leaked it all? Is it already out?
Yeah, stuff is already leaked.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay, I have to look at that.
Yeah.
They really are into the Amazon as well with the round business.
Yeah, the round dots.
Yeah, it's weird.
Round dots.
Round dots.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah, it's very weird. Anyway, so all that's happening. I wish I was doing that with you. We're going to try to do those from now on, but today was weird.
People have said, well, why don't you just do one? It's like, I'm not going to do one. Just me. It's really, you don't really want me doing that because I'm going to be saying dumb stuff. And
yeah,
I guess that's probably what they want. But
the fun it would be me and Brian Laffy Taffy. But
yes, exactly. Because we'd be talking about Apple for about 10 minutes or 10% of it, and 90% of it would be, wow, look, did you know He-Man had one of those things? Wow.
Yeah. Be a lot of products.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you have it. Brian, let's play a song. Let's do a song.
Oh, well, okay. You've